Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Adam, and thank you for joining me today. So right now, I'm going to be doing another NAT video, and you know what? It's just going to be real talk. NAT. This is a company that so many investors have just been struggling with as they watched it just drop and drop, and now it's nearing its lows in early September where it was like $3.49, which was when the Hansberg Hansen, so the CEO son, bought some shares at $3.49. Right now it's nearing that and at $3.52. And I'm thinking of purchasing shares, but I'm so undecided for a couple of reasons, and we're just going to talk about that today. Um, and even just like the future of the oil and gas industry. And I mean, I understand that this has been so frustrating to watch that people have gone down, and people I know have bought it like at like $7, and now they're facing like 50% downturn on their investments. So, um, let's just get straight into it, and I'm gonna let you guys know what I'm doing with my shares. Okay. So first off, um, NAT, which this is incredibly surprising to me. So NAT orders two Suezmax new buildings in South Korea. Okay, and I mean this signals to me that NAT thinks that the tanker market is still going to do well into the coming years, right? Or it may be just to replace their older vessels, right? So they said that we wish to announce that NAT has entered into two Suezmax newbuilding contracts in South Korea, increasing our fleet of Suezmax to 25 units. Okay, um, so so this is consistent with our strategy to expand and renew our fleet. The scheduled deliveries of the ships are in the first half of 2022. Okay. Um, so now this will mean that, there will be more revenue coming in, and now probably they feel pretty safe with financing these two new fleets just because they have so much money coming in during the pandemic when the spot rates increased insanely. Okay. So, one thing that got my eye here was that it's saying that, in total, nearly $50 per share had been paid to NAT shareholders if they kept the stock since inception, right? So when we go to the max stock chart, we can see that, initially it was around like $18, right? So if you bought it at $18 and you held all the way through till today, you'd have got, like $50 worth in the share price, right? And so at their current share price, if you just, pretty much sold your amount, you'd have like way more than it would have cost you around like $15, and but you got like $50 in dividends. So you would have like more than tripled your money. That is just something interesting, right? So I mean, right now I can see that, just holding NAT, which of course I am doing, even though I'm down about like, 25 to 30% right now. I think right now that is definitely the play because their dividends had been uh, pretty nice, let's just say that, right? And I think just, if we go on to this next chart, so first of all, they're adding two new Max fleets. And of course, like, I think now that the management sees that as they can afford to do that because, one, they still project that there will be a future for the foreseeable time of tankers, right? You can see that they have such incredible stats right now. They're sitting at a price to earnings ratio of like under 6, which is just insane, especially in the current market that we're in, although it is downtrending right now, where the current PE ratios of like the S&P 500 companies are like 27 or something, right? To have a PE ratio of under 6 is incredible. And their forward dividend and yield is 15.22%, which is again just absolutely insane. They might keep that up for a bit, but of course they're probably gonna cut their dividend as they go into the future, as they're not earning as much money as they did in Q1 and Q2 of 2020, right? And if we go down to see their quarterly revenue, of course, their quarterly revenue is just expanding. So Q1 2020, they did around like 40 million of revenue, and Q2 2020, sorry, in profit, they did around like 60 million in earnings, right? And of course, their earnings are just, or sorry, their revenue is just going up like crazy from like 80 million to 166 million, right? So of course that's something that I really, really, really like to see, and they paid off a bunch of debt with this increase in revenue here, so that's why it's not going directly to their earnings. Um, So I mean, they're in a really good position right now, at least for like foreseeable 1 to 2 years. So I don't see how NAT could get any lower than, let's say $3, right? Um, but it's just there's such pessimism in the market. And also, when you think about it, so one right now, the reason why I think the rates are so low is because, as we can see here, the spot rates are at their lowest ever right now, coming into September. Right, it's just below $10,000 per day per ship, and their operating cost is like $8,000 per day per ship. Right, so seeing this downward trend and the huge sell off in NAT could be because, of course, the spot rates are lower, even though that NAT books many of their fleets in advance at a much higher price. Still, the spot price I have seen, for the time that I've been an NAT shareholder, is highly, highly correlated with the share price, right? And as we can see here, it's just looking dismal. Like last week, it was 8,800 as a spot price for the Suezmax vessels. Of course, NAT has 23, is going to own 25 of them in the future, and now coming into this week, 5,800. So the cost of the ship to maintain is $8,000. So right now, they'd be losing money if they were to contract out their ships to someone to get their oil on, right? So that's just not good news. Who knows how long this will last, but hopefully, due to the uptick in 2018 and 2019, you see the red and light blue bars here. I hope that the 2020 levels will follow suit, and hopefully there will also be an uptick of the spot rates, and that will correspond with an increase in NAT stock price, right? And I mean, hopefully people will start going out more into 2021 and 2022, which could also help fuel oil consumption and oil transportation, of course, which, that would be good for the tanker market. But anyways, that's one reason, is that the spot rates are incredibly low right now, not even enough to keep up with the maintenance of the ships, right? Another factor is that right now, at least for now, it looks like it's not going anywhere. So if we just increase this here, you can see that right now the spots rate for the Suezmax vessels, I get like a daily briefing, and this is for September 23rd, as we can see here, is like 1,500. It's just ridiculous, right? The spot rates are like pretty much at like all-time lows, at least for the year. Okay. So again, that's the one piece of negative news. However, one piece of positive news that I see, and that makes me positive, at least for the short-term outlook of NAT, is, of course, the purchase of shares of NAT by NAT board members. So pretty much the CEO's son bought on August 19th 55,000 shares, which is just old news, but he bought them at a price of $4.34. So right now, of course, he's losing money, as the current price is $3.52. Right, and of course, early in September, the same son bought 50,000 shares at a price of $3.49. Right, and so again, like when insiders like this buy shares, and they know the market like much better than you or I do, it's definitely an intriguing case, right? And this makes me optimistic that, of course, they're not going to this company is not going to go to zero in the foreseeable future, right? And I mean, since I'm down 25%, I'm really, really thinking of buying, like 100 more shares or so, and just, just dealing with what it comes, and just believing that this company is close to bottoming out right now in terms of the share price at like $3.50, right? And so, but I'm just conflicted because I think that my money could potentially be better used investing in companies like Tesla that are growing into the future, right? Like some of the cloud companies, Dropbox, Slack, for example, right? Which I'll do videos about in the future now, which I've already done some videos on. So one, they're not going anywhere, and of course, since they're buying new vessels, and they're investing into they're buying shares of their own company, they think that they're buying this at an attractive price, right? And as we can see with like the PE ratio of 6 and dividend of 15%, I definitely think that I will be buying more shares. It's just since I have so much invested, I'm kind of scared to. And also, when you look at it long term, right? the society in general is gearing towards more, environmentally friendly and sustainable ways of the future, right? And so, of course, like, if you're an oil tanker, you're not directly related to, pumping out oil from the ground, but you directly benefit if companies are pumping out more oil from the ground, right? And so, the more that renewable energy takes the place of oil, the more obsolete that NAT and other companies will become, right? But of course, like, this is not going to happen overnight, right? This is a process that'll take, you know, 10 to 50 years to phase out oil, right? And during that time, I believe that, I will be able to get into NAT. The stock price will be increasing, or will increase, and I'll be able to sell my shares and invest that money elsewhere, right? So again, I just kind of want to see where NAT goes in the next couple days. I think if it dips below, like $3.50, as it probably will be, I think I'm going to buy more shares. It's just like, you know, I think it would be a good opportunity. And based on all the factors I see, I think that the spot rates should recover, as we can see here, should recover as they usually do in the winter months. And by that point, NAT stock price should recover as well. Okay, so this is a bit more comprehensive video. If you did enjoy this, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments what you're doing with your NAT stock. And yeah, I hope you guys are well, and I'll see you next time. Take care.